So tell me more about this program that's in the works and that apparently I haven't heard much about. Is it in motion? Is it something we're going to be hearing more about?
We'll hear more about it. It's called Venture Home.
Okay.
And this Venture Home is the opportunity of bringing this out of the research laboratories in the university into the local communities, preferably right where the universities are located. Let's not worry about that research being developed, because a lot of times it gets developed. And if we don't protect it for them, which is what Weiss's job is to do that, by patents and then license it, those researchers get on a national stage and present their information at big conventions. And lo and behold, they graduate and they're in another state applying that technology in another environment. We lost that opportunity two ways: the opportunity for the economic development of the jobs, but just as important, the loss of the individual that went over from Wisconsin to somewhere else. So we lost that potential resource here. In keeping them here. But so this WISIS is an opportunity to keep them here, but WISIS is also an opportunity to bring back our alumni from the university system that went out in other parts of in the world and are now executives there. They have resources, they have money, and we want to bring them back with their ideas and their money to help develop businesses locally. Because an awful lot of them like to come back to the area where they grew up. And university is a great environment, a lot of good memories. So a lot of them are finding their way back home.
So that it is something we've talked about a little bit, Venture Home. And so are there successful Venture Home locations?
We're just getting it started. We got it started a couple of years ago. First one was in Eau Claire, and now we've got another one in Eau Claire, and we've got one in Platteville that's developing, and we've got one in Green Bay that's developing, but it's all very new. It's within the past year or two. A couple of years for those opportunities, and we're now starting to see some of the fruits of that effort.
No, it's very exciting, and I know you're trying to figure out where is that in central Wisconsin and what has to come together, and what are some things that you need still? I mean, if anyone's listening to this and they like the idea of Venture Home, how could someone get involved? What is it that you need?
Well, it's interesting. We've discussed this and just talked about it with these chats and these sessions we got right here, right now. And we've had one individual from the Wausau area. That's a young fellow. He's very entrepreneurial. And he contacted us, says, hey, I like some of the things you're doing. And then we proceeded to get together with him over coffee and told him about this idea, what we're doing here. He says, boy, I'd love to get involved with that. So here we are, young fellow getting started, but he's got communication skills and some really good business skills that are very, very unique. And we want to use that to help us pull this together. So we can do some of the, if you will, the conceptualizing, but somebody's got to actually implement. This would be an individual that'd be in the position to implement and make some of those things happen. And then we're also working with the chambers in the local areas in central Wisconsin. And we have some very interesting work going on right now with Wausau, where they have some specific opportunities they're looking to develop and bring forward. And some of these foundations and some of the investors will certainly be interested in helping them do that. And then we'll do the same thing with Stevens Point and Marshfield and Rapids. Each one of us have a different set of unique skills that may allow certain types of projects to foster in those locations. When I think of healthcare, I tend to think of Marshfield. When I think of agriculture, I tend to think of Stevens Point, Portage County, and some of the rural area. Manufacturing, you tend to think of Wausau, but each one has their strengths, and they don't need to be within the central Wisconsin area. Sometimes we'll bring in resources from other universities and other parts of the state.
Those all these communities in central Wisconsin have such distinctive cultures and identities and focuses.
And really, it's a dedicated workforce that ultimately allows this to happen, and then the management with experience to keep it moving forward.
I mean, I find Venture Home very exciting, and the major theme is keeping the ventures at home or bringing the ventures back home is is kind of the play on words there. So I'm really excited to see it continue to develop, and to see it bring all these different parts together, to ultimately continue to enrich and, even accelerate the enrichment of the economic and entrepreneurial ecosystem in Wisconsin, which is, basically the mission of of Midwest Wealth Ventures, which is the parent organization of the
Yeah, it
Wisconsin
sure is. Create,
Business Angels.
develop and create the community and the benefit of the investors and the community.
Yep.
But I also find that this opportunity with the researchers at the university level will work very nicely with the business school, because this opportunity analysis protocol is something we have developed and taught at university level in Michigan for a number of years. The process in this technology is not new. It's been in existence for 40, 50 years, and very successful in sorting out winners from losers without spending a lot of money on the front end.
Yeah.
When you got it figured out, then you want to spend the money. So when you do something, you want to know that there's a customer that wants to buy it.
Yep.
Bam, you got this thing moving along in a matter of months instead of years. And that's the speed of commercialization is the benefit. But what I'm was leading up to is the getting these students in the business schools to learn this protocol, this technique, if they're interested in adding that to the curriculum. It's already been taught at university level, so we know how to do that. Does it fit and make sense for the teaching to be done in that university? Or maybe those teachers and the students and us in helping them can do it at the sites of these companies, either in their plants or maybe in their locations where they're trying to create new ventures, be them at the university or at the chamber levels or some of their organizations where they're doing this type of work. So we think the technology and the teaching can be done anywhere. That's sort of mobile, and money's mobile. So let's be most efficient and do it where it makes sense to do it. And that's based on interest. If there's interest, we'll try to move in that direction and then build the awareness and knowledge of it with the things you're doing, Aaron. That's really a key part of that, to bring that message and help people understand what it is we're trying to accomplish. And they say, oh, I hope I now get it.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, it's a pleasure to figure out really what's in your head, Leanne, because there's so much great stuff, in your thoughts. And, like I said, you really just have this broad vision of how all these pieces fit together and what they can, kind of all align to if they're all pointing in the same direction and working toward the same goal, So.
That's well, thank you. We certainly spent a career doing that.
Yeah.
And I think I can visualize and see it. And I've also done it globally. So I understand the implications of doing it in another environment, and they are substantial.